Hi, this is Jason Perlow with ZDNet Tech Broiler. I'm here to show you the new OtterBox Defender for the iPhone 6. As you can see here, I have a standard issue 4.7-inch iPhone 6 enclosed in an OtterBox Defender case in a pretty masculine blue color. They also come in many other different color combinations. As you can see here, I have one for a iPad Air, which is going to be not the most current version of the iPad, probably within the next few days. But as you can see, this is a nice two-tone color combination. They have them in reds and pinks and all sorts of nice colors. If you don't like having an ugly black case anymore, OtterBox has actually been pretty good about releasing the colored versions of the cases concurrent with the release of the devices, so that you can have your choice of matching colors that you like. They are still relatively ugly compared to using a bare naked device itself. The iPhone is probably one of the most beautiful devices uncased that I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it's also probably one of the most fragile devices uncased I've ever seen. The same goes with the iPad. These are not enterprise class constructed devices. They are consumer devices. And if you do drop them, as you can see, I've got nice Italian tiles here on my floor, and I've got a patio over here, which is also in marble. You drop one of these guys on the floor without any protection, you will in fact cause serious damage to your device. The other issue, of course, is this whole bend gate question. I don't know how serious I'm going to take it, but if you do wear one of these in your pocket, especially one of the larger ones, and with daily use, you will cause some bending to the frame, and that's because it's made out of aluminum, not a polycarbonate type of, or some type of plastic, some plastic composite, which is more rigid. You're going to bend it, and that's just by the way that, as a material, aluminum just happens to work. The glass on the current versions of the iOS devices is actually better. It's more flexible, so you'll have a little bit better chance if you drop the thing face down. But I still happen to like using a protective case on these things. So let's talk about this particular version of the case. I've reviewed this case many times over the years on different devices. I still happen to think it's one of the best in the industry. Just a couple of small notes here. These are rounded as opposed to the sharper corners in the previous versions of the device. As you can see, there's considerable amount of plastic between the aluminum frame and the casing and the rubber here. You can see there's quite a few millimeters of elevation on the bezel on the outside, on the top, protecting the microphone area, and also near the button, or the Touch ID sensor, so as it may be. The main difference on this version of the case, and they couldn't get this in the iPhone 5S case, because I guess it was just too close to the release of the device or the time of their development. They really weren't able to test the solution, was that they had effectively, this area was exposed completely here on the Defender. So in order to make the Touch ID work, they actually had to have the Touch ID sensor button itself completely exposed. And I wasn't too crazy about that, because if you get any sand or water or anything like that, there's really nothing protecting this area right here at all. So that was kind of one of the weaknesses of the fact that they had to deal with the iPhone 5S design. Well, they've obviously had some time to consider this. So what they've done is, if you can see here, and I'm going to try to zoom in with this camera right here, but as you can see, there's a protective film, almost like, I kind of call it a condom, because that's essentially what it is. It's over the Touch ID sensor. So you can still unlock the phone with the sensor, right? So you've got this plastic film over this, but the Touch ID still works. Now, my only issue with this is that because they've put this sort of tight film on top of it, it does make the Touch ID sensor button a little bit harder to depress. So you kind of like, you think when you first put this case on that maybe your phone might be slightly defective, because it's more pressure to push down on the button to make it to do stuff, right? But it's not the fact that it just so happens the way that this case works. You have this tight film, which makes it harder to depress the button, okay? But otherwise, I think this is an excellent case. If you have an active lifestyle, you're knocking your phone around your pocket all the time, it's a great phone to have. As I said, the other thing that, of course, you've seen with OtterBoxes in the past, and this also comes with, is the holster. You can decide to use it with or without the holster. I kind of like having it in the holster when I'm walking around, so I can protect the screen. Right? You drop this thing, hit it, bang it, whatever. It's not gonna harm the device in any way. If you've seen the iPad versions of the case, I did review this case earlier in the ugly black. As I said, you've got some of these nice new colors now. It does come with this sort of nice propping stand, which also acts as the case cover, right? So this goes down and it goes on the top like this, like so, right? It snaps into place. But I suspect that the newer generation version of the OtterBox case for whatever we call the next iPad, iPad Pro, iPad whatever, iPad Air 2, whatever you want to call it, is going to have the same, if it incorporates a Touch ID sensor, it's going to have the same film here rather than this nice rubber cover here. The other thing I wanted to note about this case, as with all versions of other OtterBox cases, you've got these rubber tabs here which completely cover all the receptacles of the device, and they're easily openable. If I hadn't just clipped my nails, you can see how they're easy those ports are to open, right? So you got your lightning cable, you got your audio cable, you got also this button over here, right? So again, if you've got an active lifestyle, I happen to like the OtterBox a lot. Lots of new colors. It's got, of course, the version for the iPhone 6 Plus, if you happen to like the really big model. But bottom line is, don't use your phone naked without a case. Very stupid. Use an OtterBox, use any manufacturer's case, but preferably something which has got a high degree of bezel elevation, as I showed you before, because that's critical for protecting the screen. Again, you've got some nice corner protection here as well because of the clamshell design with the polycarbonate and rubber combination here is really nice. I don't see how they can perfect this case much more than they can. Like I said, the only thing I didn't like about this case, and really there's nothing much I think that OtterBox can do about it, just because of the design of the new iPhones, is the fact you've got sort of this condom thing here that permits the use of the Touch ID sensor rollout at the same time, protects it, which also makes it harder to depress the button. But other than that, that's really my only beef with this thing, if I had to pick a beef with this case. Otherwise, it's an excellent case, and I look forward to OtterBox's successive designs and seeing what they're doing with it on other devices. Again, that's Jason Perlow with Tech Broiler. See you later.